Some people say if you want to outsmart the tech industry, then stop upgrading every year. In 2026, every spec sheet, every keynote, every you need this, YouTube is engineered to convince you that what you have isn't enough, that you're falling behind, that the next chip is the one that'll finally unlock the version of yourself that you've been waiting on. That was me. My MacBook wasn't slow. It wasn't broken. It just kept feeling like low-grade pressure, like I was supposed to be using something newer. And then I stopped. I looked at the M1 Max sitting on my desk, almost 5 years old, and asked an honest question. What is this actually missing? The answer surprised me, and it completely changed how I think about owning tech. Here's what I really think is happening in 2026. We don't have a hardware problem. We have a narrative problem. Every year, Apple tells you the new chip is faster. Every year, reviewers run the same benchmarks. Every year, your feed fills up with unboxings of whatever just dropped. And slowly, without even noticing, you start to believe that your current machine is the reason that you're not getting things done. But here's the thing nobody wants to say. The bottleneck isn't usually the chip. It's the project you're avoiding, the skill you haven't built, the system you never set up. We blame the tool because it's easier than blaming the workflow. The M1 Max forced me to sit with that because every time I caught myself thinking I need a new MacBook, I had to stop and ask, for what? And 9 times out of 10, I didn't really have a real answer. And that's the gap, not a performance gap, a mindset gap. And once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. Let me give you a real example. I edit videos, I color grade, I work with 4K footage daily, and the M1 Max handles all that without breaking a sweat. Final Cut runs buttery smooth, scrubbing, stacking effects, exporting. Lightroom chews through hundreds of raw files with AI mask and batch export. Photoshop opens layered PSDs with smart objects and general field without this little spinning beach ball that used to haunt me on Intel Macs, which I never really had an Intel Mac, but I know the beach ball that they're talking about. I used to work at Geek Squad and it was pretty annoying. And the ProRes Media Engine is still elite, and that's a hardware feature, not a software patch. It doesn't degrade over time. But none of this is new information. The M1 Max was good when it launched, and it's still good now. But here's what changed for me. I stopped waiting for the chip to be the reason something didn't work. When the edit feels stuck, I ask, is the project the problem, not the processor? When the render feels slow, I ask, is it actually slow, or if I just expect it to be instant now? When I get the itch to upgrade, I ask which workflow is generally bottlenecked. And almost every time, the answer is almost none of them. Trusting your tool is a skill. And the second you stop blaming the hardware, you start owning the work. Here's something nobody tells you about buying high-end tech. The value isn't what it does today, it's what it does on year 4 or year 5. When the M1 Max first launched, it was way overkill for some people, probably most people. And that overkill is exactly why it feels so premium in 2026. I'm not pushing it to its limit. Like, it's probably only using like 60% of its power. I can airdrop files from my phone, have a Zoom call running, export a video in the background, still switch between 30 plus tabs in Opera. Yes, I use Opera now. And the fans don't even come on. That's not normal. That's just headroom. And headroom is what makes tech age well. Eventually, more than you need becomes exactly right. That's the quiet luxury of buying overkill once instead of buying mid-tier every 2 years. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this though, not gonna lie. The battery life is not all day anymore. And honestly, it really never was. After 5 years of countless charge cycles, it only degraded to 19%. So, I mean, eventually I do gotta get a change soon. I don't know why Apple is keeping my MacBook at 81%, battery health. It's been like that for almost a year. I feel like they're holding back on me. But once this battery gets changed, I think it's gonna be just as good as new again. But let's be honest about what that means. 19% of degradation of 5 years of heavy use? That's still a work day. And a battery swap is $99 with Apple Care. Maybe $200 without, I think. But compare that to dropping $3,000 on a new machine. This is the part the upgrade cycle wants you to forget. The chip didn't degrade, the RAM didn't get slow, the screen didn't get dimmer. It's literally just the battery. And that's a fixable problem, not a reason to replace the whole machine. A lot of I need an upgrade feeling disappears the second you actually diagnose what's bothering you. Usually it's one component, one habit, one workflow, just not the whole computer. Here's something I only really appreciated in the last year. Apple silicone doesn't slow down the way Mac Intel chips do. Like, that pattern rate. Year 1, your laptop feels amazing. Year 2, it's still fine. By year 3, you're convinced Mac OS is bloated and the fans just start running like a jet engine. This hasn't happened with the M1 Max with me. Mac OS updates still feel snappy. Apps launch instantly. Wake from sleep is immediate. Universal control, AirDrop, handoff, iPhone mirroring. It all still just works. The M1 Max doesn't feel left behind by newer software. It feels like it was built for this moment. And that's the real Apple Silicon promise. Not just speed at launch, but sustained relevance. And it's the reason I generally don't dread the latest macOS updates. But let's get into the big portion of what the future of technology is about. And that is AI. So I have to be transparent, I have to be honest about this section. This is where the M1 Max really starts to fall behind. Before I get into actually how I feel it day to day, let me break down quickly how AI runs on these chips. Because I had to look this up myself. And honestly, it changed how I thought about the whole upgrade question. There are basically three things on the Apple Silicon chip that handles the AI work, and the unified memory plus the memory bandwidth. The two AI tools I use the most on a day-to-day basis are Claude and ChatGPT. Both are cloud-based. The heavy lifting happens on someone else's servers, so the chip in my MacBook honestly doesn't matter much for either one, whether I'm on the M1 Max or the M5 Max. Asking Claude a question and chatting with ChatGPT, honestly, they feel the exact same. If that's the bulk of how you use AI, then you're fine. The chip is not your bottleneck. For the everyday AI device stuff though, like generative fill on Photoshop, AI masking in Lightroom, the AI features in macOS, the M1 Max still handles all of it. Slower than the M5, but still works. But here's where I do feel it when I use Claude Code. Claude's coding assistant that runs locally and chews through your code base, indexing files, running builds, executing tools. That's the one workflow on this machine where I actually hear the fans spinning. And remember, I just told you, fans almost never come on. Editing 4K, exporting, multitasking, all dead silent. Claude Code, fans on. Not jet engine loud, but it's noticeable. It's generally the only thing I've done on this MacBook lately that makes it work hard enough for me to hear it. Here's why the M5 pulls ahead so hard on the AI, because this part is actually fascinating. With the M5 generation, Apple did something architecturally huge. They put a neural accelerator inside every single GPU core. The M1 Max doesn't have those, so when you run AI on the M1 Max GPU, you're using general purpose graphics compute. On the M5 Max, every GPU core has dedicated tensor hardware built in for AI math. That's where the 6 times peak GPU compute for AI number Apple keeps quoting comes from. It's not marketing fluff, it's a real architectural shift. You got a machine that handles modern AI workloads several times faster and barely breaks a sweat while doing it. So I'm going to be straight with you. If you're using mostly Claude and ChatGPT in the browser, then you're fine. If you're leaning hard on tools like Claude Code for development work, doing on-device AI like image generation, or experimenting with local LLMs and AI video tools, that's one workflow where you'll actually feel the chip age. And honestly, the gap is only going to grow over the next year or two, because every app is racing to add on-device AI features. In the M1 Max hardware, a couple years, honestly, I don't think it can handle it. That's the honest answer. Everything's not fine forever. Not you need to upgrade right now. Just here's where it bends and it doesn't. And it's 2026. Knowing exactly where your tool bends is the difference between an informed upgrade and an emotional one. Let's lay out the M5 numbers honestly, because I'm not going to pretend like they're not impressive. Single core is about 75% faster than M1 Max. Multi-core is about 36% faster than M1 Max. The M5 Max has 6 times the peak GPU compute for AI. The SSD speeds are twice as fast as even the M4. The M5 is just a way superior chip, and I'm not gonna lie about that. But here's the thing, that doesn't mean it's necessary. If you're doing 3D animation, training AI models, or work with massive data sets, the M5 Max is definitely a no-brainer. Go get it, you'll feel every dollar. But if you're editing video, multitasking, browsing, designing, writing, the structure is sound. You don't tear it down because a newer model is just slightly nicer. Quick note on this because I think this is the most important thing I can say. I haven't upgraded my MacBook in a while, and I'm not going to just because a new one dropped. But the new OLEDs, the leaks are looking good. I cannot lie about that. But for now, my M1 Max, it still works. It still does everything I need. Like I said in my iPad video, in 2026, I think we need to work on keeping things that still serve us, instead of chasing a new release. The value of the MacBook isn't the spec sheet. It's in the work it lets you do, projects you ship, the skills you build, the habits you create around it. If your current machine still supports that, then you don't need a new one. Upgrade your software, upgrade your skills, upgrade your storage. The chip under the hood, it's still got years left in it. If you're sitting there right now with an M1 Max like me, wondering if you've fallen behind, you haven't. You're exactly where you need to be. And if you're thinking about buying one in secondhand in 2026, that might honestly be one of the smartest moves you make this year. The value proposition is kind of insane. You don't need a new MacBook. You don't need another spreadsheet. You don't need another spec sheet. You might just need permission to be content with what you already have and to put your energy into work instead of the tool. Drop a comment below and let me know what chip you're running right now and whether you feel the pressure to upgrade or not. I just want to know how many of us are in the same boat right now. The M1 Max didn't just age well, it aged gracefully. In an industry that wants you to buy something new every year, this chip is proof that sometimes the best upgrade is no upgrade. A reminder that owning your tech and actually owning it, not just renting it from one keynote to the next, is its own kind of freedom. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video of my M1 Max in 2026. I love this thing. It has been an amazing workhorse and I'm looking forward to the future with it. You know, might just keep it around for some time, but I'm not gonna lie, the new MacBooks that's supposed to be dropping in October, they look good. The Ultras, like I do like a good OLED, so we'll see. But make sure you guys like the video down below. And like I said, leave a comment too if you still have the M1 Max or you have the M2 or the M3. Like, if you don't have the latest and greatest, just leave a comment down below and let me know how it's going. And also hit that notification bell too so you can get notifications whenever I drop a video. And also guys, thank you for putting me over 1,000 subs. I greatly appreciate it. I got something for you guys, definitely a giveaway coming soon. I would definitely probably announce that in my next video. But until then, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.